R. R is for Rustaveli and Renoir, and Regency Period novels and romance. Russia. Roman à clé. Russian novels. Red. Rolls Royce. Rover. Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my Booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. R is for reading. This is not just books and stuff, this is books and reading and stuff for a reason. Reading. Why do you love reading? If you did the Booktube newbie tag, you've already answered this question. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one. That was taken from George R.R. Martin's A Dance with Dragons. Also in this time of pandemic, it's good to be able to travel in our minds, even if we can't travel in our bodies. R is for Russia, our troublesome neighbour. Who is your favourite Russian writer? This year I've read Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. I also read The Gambler by Dostoevsky. I think my favourite Russian writer is still Gogol, who wrote The Dead Souls. R is for romance. Do you have a favourite romantic novel? Romance isn't really my jam. Last year I read this, The Secret of Another Desert. It was the worst book I read last year. Not just because it's romance, the central character has no character development whatsoever, and the translation is fraught with errors. I read Jane Eyre as well last year, Charlotte Bronte. I tried to read this in one day, but I failed. I think my favourite romantic novel is probably Bridget Jones' Diary by Helen Fielding, but I like this more for the comedy than for the romance. R is for Renoir, Pierre-Auguste Renoir. What is your favourite painting by Renoir? This is Two Sisters. This is Kevy's favourite from the channel C'est Kevy. I like this one. This is Umbrellas. This can be found in the National Gallery in London. Whenever I'm in London, I go to the National Gallery, and this is one of the paintings I go there for. This is the Bal au Moulin de la Galette. This is a 1,000-piece jigsaw we have. 1,000 pieces. We've done it a few times. You get a real feel for the painting when you're doing the jigsaw. Renoir famously said, one day we'd run out of black, and that's when Impressionism began. R is for Regency. Do you have a favourite Regency Period novel? A novel written during the Regency Period that wasn't by Jane Austen? The Regency Period was from 1811 to 1820. This is when George III was deemed to be unfit to rule because he was crazy, and his son George IV was invited to act as his regent, as the Prince Regent. From this period, my favourite novel is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This was first published in 1818, and this was a pioneering work in the genres of horror and of science fiction. R is for Rustaveli, Shota Rustaveli. Have you heard of Shota Rustaveli? In Georgia, he's the most revered writer. He was writing in the 12th century. His famous epic poem was Vep Kresani, the knight in the panther skin, or the man in the panther skin. In my book about Georgian culture, it tells me, in the old days it was believed that the best dowry for a Georgian noblewoman was her manuscripts, hand-copied by herself, of verses from the Bible and from the Vep Racine, the Georgian epic tale of the 12th century. This showed that her family possessed the two most important books. That she could read and write, that before getting married, and she had spent time creating her own copies, and that she was bringing them to her new household. It also indicated that she would be able to educate her children and pass the knowledge on for future generations. So Rustaveli is very important in Georgia, but before I'd come to Georgia, I'd never heard of Rustaveli. Have you heard of Shota Rustaveli? R is for roman à clef. Roman à clef is a novel with a key. It's where the characters in the novel are based on real life people. Great Gatsby is said to be a roman à clef. Also On the Road by Jack Kerouac. He based his fictional characters on his real life friends. Another one is The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway, but my favourite roman à clef would be Animal Farm by George Orwell. This was a story about a farm and about farm animals revolting against their human masters. In Animal Farm, Snowball was Trotsky, Napoleon was Stalin, and the other animals represented other characters in the Socialist Revolution. This will be a slightly different prompt. Imagine you're in a log cabin somewhere. You have no internet, you don't have your Kindle with you. You have plenty of food, there's nothing to worry about, and in the cabin you find some books. These are by authors beginning with R. There are books there by Racine, Kathy Reichs, Anne Rice, Ian Rankin, Ruth Rendell, Arundhati Roy, J.K. Rowling and Salman Rushdie. Which books would you start reading first? And which would you leave till last? Personally, I would choose Ruth Rendell first. I love her books, I love the psychological mysteries in her books. And last would be Salman Rushdie. I tried one of his short stories. I don't think he's very good on plot. I wasn't very impressed. And finally, who do I tag? There's lots of R's, because reading and reads begin with R. So I'll tag Bill Ruttenberg at the Ruttenberg Library, Miss Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot, Brett Reads, Katrina Reads, Vin at Revenant Reads, Red Dot Reads, Rowan at We Damage We, Mooney Reads, Rachel Mauro, The Reading and Writing Life, Richardson Reads, Katya Read Write Create, Remembered Reads, Rainier Books, and Red Wine. And if you like this tag, you can do this too. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.